Hey, welcome everyone. In this video, I'll show you how I made this cute little baby elephant with the combination of ZBrush and Blender, both the platforms. So I'll guide you through the process and let's get started with the video. So if you're watching my other videos, other ZBrush video, you know that I always go to the simpler brush icon, then take a sphere, drag it on the canvas, go to the edit mode, then make it a polymesh 3D. This is the basic step which you have to use while starting, and then I usually change the material to matte cap material or basic material. Then after that, with a big draw size, I usually change the volume and the shape of the whole structure. Then with one sphere, I block out the head. Then at the same time, I duplicate that sphere for other stuffs like other part of the mouth, other part of the body. So in this case also, I did the same thing. I duplicated that same sphere. With that duplicate button, I duplicated it and made the jaw kind of shape. Then again, I duplicated a cylinder for the trunk of that elephant, but later on I will be adding it again. Right now I thought I'll block out the body, then after that I'll block out the trunk. So for blocking out the body, you can see that I already added a sphere and I'm just shaping it with the big draw size. Similar things you can do it in Blender, because while blocking out, always use big draw size, or in Blender it's grab brush. And then for duplicating, you can just go to Z plugin and subtool master and mirror the object, and in Blender it's just mirror modifier. So I'm like, these days I'm enjoying Blender, but this blocking was done like way back, so I did it in ZBrush. Yeah, for the hands also I use cylinders. Then again I went to Z plugin, subtool master and mirror. I mirrored it again. And with the flatten deformer, you can see that I'm flattening out the base of that body sphere, so that base will align properly with the plane which I'll be placing later. Then with the cylinder, I'm making the ear kind of shape, and this cylinder was Dynamesh. So for Dynameshing, you can just go to geometry tab. There is this Dynamesh button, and you can just press it. Then after that, every time you hold control and drag on the empty area of the canvas, the Dynamesh will reapply itself. Then same thing, I'm just using clay builder brush, move brush and little bit of smooth brush. I'm just shaping out the whole ear. Then this is damp standard brush to crease out the lines inside the ears. This was just the blocking. I'll be doing details in Blender. And you can see the trunk part. I'm adding a cylinder for the trunk and changing it with the bend curve modifier. Now I'm here in the Blender, and you can see I'm just changing the scales. I exported a FBX and imported it in Blender. Now here's our blocking model which I blocked in ZBrush, and I combined the head and the trunk together so that I can sculpt the whole head properly in one mesh. So I combined it with Ctrl J. Here in Blender it's Ctrl J. We have to join it. I went on the sculpt mode by Ctrl tab, then I pressed R and Ctrl R for applying the remesh option here. Here it's called remesh, in ZBrush it's Dynamesh. So with that, here we have clay strip brush, and over there we have clay builder brush, and we can use the other functions like shift key for smooth. It's the same here. And now I'm just adding small details or small volumes on top of the blocking mesh. And here we have to hold Control and sculpt inward. Over there also we have to hold Alt and sculpt inward. And here move brush is not move brush, it's grab brush. So for grab brush you have to press G, and every time you want to apply remesh, you have to press R and Ctrl R. R for remesh grid, then Ctrl R to apply that grid. And for making a mask, you have to hold Ctrl Shift here. Then with A button you can adjust the mask. Like you will see the masking options to clear the mask, sharpen the mask and blur the mask. Those options will come after you press A. Then there is this mask brush also. You can directly choose that mask brush and paint the mask. And if you want to invert the mask, you can press A and then go to that invert mask option, or you can just hold Control on the keyboard and use that mask brush and paint out, like negative paint out the mask or erase the mask. So you can see that slowly I was trying to build up the forms, the detailed forms. And yeah, if you are wondering why I'm using this kind of bandana on my head, it was because this front hair was disturbing me to like while sculpting or making videos. So I just thought from now on I'll use a bandana, and this is just a handkerchief which I had. So if you know any good bandana company or anything like that, just let me know in the comment section. So yeah, let's get back to the video. And here you can see I used draw sharp brush to make these kind of creases. Then I added a sphere and scaled it in y-axis and placed it in the place of eye sockets, and then I mirrored the sphere according to our head. Then I added a material by going to that material icon, and I added just a black material and with a little bit of shyness, little bit of less roughness. Then I again added a sphere for the eyebrows. So for adding any mesh in Blender, you just have to press Shift A. And then with that sphere selected, I went to the sculpt mode, and with that, after going to the sculpt mode, I just edited it with the grab brush, and then again mirrored it with the mirror modifier. Then with the leg selected, I thought of creating the nails. Then for that, first I thought I'll be creating the nails on the mesh itself, but later on I changed that way. But in this thing, I'm just showing you how I did in the first step. But later I thought, no, I don't want to use that masking technique. So you can see I masked with the mask brush and then inflated it out. But later on I thought, no, I'll be adding a separate mesh for the nails, so I'll be adding it later. You'll see that. For the other leg also, I did the remesh thing with R and Control R. Then here you can see I'm adding a sphere, and I'll be forming that sphere into a shape of nail, elephant nail, a small elephant nail. I'll be using sculpt mode to adjust it and place it in the place of nail. I left that mistake part so that you can see that sometimes you go one path, but later on you figure out that no, that path is kind of not what I like, so I'll change the way. So here now I have separate meshes for the nails. I will later on join them with Ctrl J, and similarly I did with the other legs. I think this is the hand. This front part is the hand of that elephant, baby elephant, and the side parts are kind of other legs. Now you can see I'm using draw sharp brush for creating those creases. But I was doing it manually, so manually it will wobble a little bit. But later on I found out an option which was to turn on steady stroke in the stroke menu. You can just see that, and I can just smoothly, it's like lazy mouse option in ZBrush. So I use that option in all the places, including the trunk. You'll see that I'll erase that part a little bit or smooth it out a little bit. Then I'll use that draw sharp brush, and I'll just, with the kind of lazy mouse, this is steady stroke, but in ZBrush it's lazy mouse. You can just use that stroke, or I use that kind of way to make those strokes. So you can see that right now body and back legs are combined, and after combining them, like joining them, Ctrl J, I remeshed and smooth it out. And you can see that right now I'm kind of erasing a little bit. I'll be erasing most of the big deformations. I'll erase them, and I'll, with the lazy mouse or steady stroke, I will create those creases. Then we are almost done with the elephant. Now we'll be adding more strokes to give it a kind of wrinkly shape. I don't want to get that kind of sharp wrinkles, because this is just a baby elephant, and I'll be just making it like a little bit cute, not like old, because if the wrinkles are sharp, and they will look like it's an old elephant, but it's a baby elephant, so wrinkles can be little bit less and light. And this is just a sphere elongated in y-axis, and I'm just duplicating and placing it for the tiny hairs. It's not hairs, it's just a representation of hairs. So later on I'll combine those three. Control J, select them from outliner and Control J. Then sculpt mode, Control tab, go to sculpt mode and just change the form, shape, resolution, whatever you want. Then next was how to make the tail. So for that I used curve. So I added a Bezier curve with Shift A and went to the option. I went to the object and over there I increased the depth and I closed the caps, and for the tail end I used a sphere, elongated and pulled it from one end to just give a simple shape for a tail. Now I'll just move everything in a collection, then I'll start applying materials on it. I was moving it in a collection so that I can just give a slight tilt to the head. I'll similarly make the materials for hairs, body and all the parts. So for those things I'm not going in any detail. I'm just simply selecting a base color and simply a roughness value which looks good in the final render. So with a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of adjustment of the material and some lighting. Yeah, one thing was left that I forgot. It was the hole in the hat. So I just carved out a small hole inside that part. We are done with the elephant and this is how it looks. Here is the render for you. So I hope you like the render, you like this baby elephant. Soon I'll be making more beautiful characters. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. If you are watching till this point, I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Give it a like if you like it and subscribe if you want it. Yeah, stay tuned. Keep on sculpting and thank you so much.